My roommates hated my cats and crashed out on me. I sued them and won. I had roommates Fern and Eric. She and Eric are engaged and have 2 large dogs, one being a puppy. They wanted to rent a house that had a yard but couldn't afford it without a roommate and asked me to become a roommate. I have 2 cats, and we all agreed all animals were okay. In October, we all moved into a nice house, 3 bedrooms upstairs and 1 larger one downstairs with a wall connected to the living room. I had the downstairs bedroom. Fern took 1 bedroom as an office. Fern and Eric took 1 bedroom as a bedroom, and then they took the other upstairs bedroom as a getting ready area. I don't know. One of my cats, Mario, took very well to the change. He was cautious for about a week, but then did great. Luigi, my other kitty, had a tougher time. He only stayed in my room and rarely came out. The dogs mainly stayed in the living room. Luigi began to come out occasionally after a month, but would run away when approached outside of my bedroom. I bought gates for doorways that allow cats through to that when needed. We could keep the dogs away from the cats. Essentially, Luigi finally became comfortable in the house and explored upstairs. Fern saw him in her office and lost it. Since the whole upstairs is their space, I offered to buy a gate for the stairs that way that cats won't go upstairs. That seemed fair to me. Well, she said no because she'd fall. That honestly made no sense, but okay. So I then offer another solution. They close the doors to the rooms upstairs. That way the cats can't go in and there is no gate. Fern said that is not possible because it gets too cold upstairs. The solution she offered was my cats only stay in my room and the living room. Before they had been allowed in the kitchen, which is the pathway to the cat tree, which Fern refused to allow in the living room. My cats were trapped while her messy and untrained dogs went everywhere. I told her she was being ridiculous and unreasonable, and I had offered 2 great solutions and would pay for the one that required it. She said those were not solutions, and if I didn't like her rules, then I could get out. I started tearing up because honestly she and Eric had been so nice before. I was just shocked that they switched up so quickly. She then said, "What, you're going to cry about it now?" Anyway, mid-December is when the argument went down and I took my cats to my parents because I didn't know if they were safe there because of Fern's unexpected behavior. I packed all my stuff up and moved into my parents. Mid-January, we amended the lease to remove me from it. It actually cost $300 to do that, and since they wanted me out, I said they should pay it. They refused, but I said I would pay the $300 fee if they give me the $700 portion I paid to the security deposit that I would never see again. They agreed to that and said they would pay me on the specific date I signed off the lease. Those were the only conditions and all over text message. Come the day I sign off the lease in January, they text me that I will not be receiving any money from them because I lever the room a mess. Okay, that's fine. I took a video photos of the room the day I vacated. I had vacuumed and taken all of my stuff. I texted them that I would see them in court, and they laughed and said there was no way I could afford court and that I would have 0 case. I proceeded to take them to small claims court. They avoided certified mail service, which cost $90. I then had to pay $90 for processed servers. Today came the day, and I was so nervous but felt that I would win. I got to the courtroom early, watched the people before me act all catty, disrespectful to each other, and honestly saw the magistrate react, so I decided I would do my best to remain calm and on the facts when I spoke. Fern and Eric show up 2 minutes late, and we begin. I share that when I asked if I paid the $300 vacating fee, would they pay me back $700? They texted me and I quote, "Of course that is your money." I told the magistrate that the lease and my state's law dictate that a landlord has 30 days after a tenant vacates to create an itemized list of damages that I was responsible for, and I had never received any such list, and therefore caused no damage. I mentioned I have photos of the room as I left it, and then I have to show Fern and Eric the photos before I show the magistrate. They get their turn. Fern says, "Well, I changed my mind because she left the room in disarray. It smelled like cat urine and had stains all over." She then referenced my photos to the magistrate and said you could see stains in the photos. The magistrate analyzed the photos and the text confirmation that I would be paid under the specific conditions. He said in the photos a landlord would not see any damage, and the only thing he sees on the carpet is vacuum lines. That was amazing. Towards the end, the magistrate asks if we have any else to add before he makes a verdict. Fern popped up and mentioned that I had not been kicked out and that I left in December all of a sudden. I confirmed that was not my claim and reaffirmed my claim and mentioned I left in December because I did not know if my cats would be safe with people who didn't want them around. So I just took them to my parents just in case. Either way, he makes his verdict and states I have the burden of proof and they owe me the $700 plus the $180 court fees. I'm very happy to say this period of life where they are a part of mine is completely done and had a happy ending.